CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Well, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Ann Makovic has the day off. We start with the sudden death of Republican Congressman Doug Lamalfa. He was 65 years old. The California lawmaker spent 13 years in the House. He was known for his work on water and agricultural issues. Lamalfa was a fourth-generation rice farmer. He also served as the chairman of the Congressional Western Caucus. President Donald Trump said he was saddened over Lamalfa's death while giving remarks at a retreat at the Kennedy Center.
I want to express our tremendous sorrow at the loss of a great member, a great member, Congressman Doug Lamalfa.
And Doug Lamalfa represented that district really well. He's not just a former rice farmer, rancher, but someone who was really tied to the ground, tied to his constituents.
Lamalfa also served in the Assembly and the State Senate. Details surrounding his death are still unclear. Lamalfa's first congressional district currently encompasses a large portion of Northern California, including the cities of Redding and Chico. But District 1 was set to be drastically redrawn by Proposition 50. The major swath of red at the top of the state would be combined with Democratic strongholds in that redrawn map. That includes parts of Sonoma County. Sonoma State political professor David McEwen tells us with the changes, it was going to be an uphill battle for Republicans to hold on to that seat.
It's a Democratic pickup. This is going to further squeeze the Republicans in terms of potential House majority retaining that for the fall. There's a lot of huge implications between now and, say, March or April for Speaker Johnson, and then beyond from November, December for potentially what comes next.
The state will now need to hold a special election to replace Lamalfa in the coming weeks, and Lamalfa's death reduces the GOP's narrow control of the House. Yesterday was also Marjorie Taylor Greene's last day in Congress. Republicans now only hold 218 seats. Democrats now control 213 seats. Okay, turning to our first alert weather right now, we are keeping an eye on a mudslide in Monte Rio. This is along Highway 116 along the Russian River. You see part of the lane fell down a cliff. Our photographers said the slide took out multiple trees. Caltrans says they're allowing cars to go through with traffic controls. And this is along Wooler Road near Forestville. You can see the water climbing up the traffic signs that flooded part of this winery. Okay, let's take a live look from the top of Salesforce Tower. Definitely a change from this time yesterday. So a beautiful shot of the Golden Gate Bridge. And the big question, are we done with all this rain? For the answers, let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Jessica Birch. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Ryan, let's start off with the reality. It has been such a mess when it comes to the rain since December 29th all the way until just yesterday as we dealt with heavy storms. And even though it's a dry day for us today, there's still lasting impacts from those storms as well. I'm going to start off with our temperature contour map just to paint the picture. We're actually sitting a little bit below average today in some of our microclimates, upper 50s and lower 60s, widespread throughout the Bay Area for our daytime highs. And as we head into the next couple days, we're not out of the clear just yet when it comes to national weather advisories. Just yet. National Weather Service advisories, excuse me. Along the coast, we'll have a high surf advisory kickoff all the way down into Monterey, Salinas, and up into our neck of the woods too in Half Moon Bay, Pacifica, and San Francisco as we head into the weekend forecast, meaning we could see waves anywhere up to around 22 feet high. But the big question, of course, is are we done with the rain? And the answer, for the most part, is yes. We saw the last of the showers today ring out all the way down into Hollister, over into Gilroy. Now we're left with just partly cloudy skies. But I do want to mention tomorrow, there's this huge, strong storm system pushing to the Pacific Northwest, and we could see some of those leftover showers as we wake up tomorrow morning just around 7 a.m. in the South Bay. We clear up into the afternoon. I'll show you what's to come, though, as we head into the evening hours tomorrow night, coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. Now to the North Bay. An early morning fire destroyed a kite surfing shop in Greenbrae. The fire broke out at Live to Kite on Industrial Way around 3 this morning. Fire crews say the business was jam-packed with boxes of inventory inside, making it difficult to fight the flames. Crews were able to stop the fire from spreading to a neighboring business. And one business owner says flooding in the area from recent rains was already a big headache. She's here to support the kite surfing shop any way she can.
I feel terrible for them. It's quite a loss. It's situations like this that really bring the community together. So as far as we've been just working together to get all this flooding cleaned up, and however we can support the kite family as well.
cause of the fire is still under investigation. San Francisco supervisors Matt Dorsey and Bilal Mahmoud want to extend an overnight retail curfew into part of the South Market neighborhood as a way to curb drug-related crime in that area. They will introduce the legislation today at the Board of Supervisors meeting. It would expand the existing late-night retail restriction pilot program. That program restricts operating hours for certain food and tobacco markets between midnight and 5 a.m. If approved, the program will last for 18 months. Here's a map of the areas that would be impacted by that change. From the Tenderloin neighborhood, the restrictions would expand into the area from 3rd Street to South Van Ness, from Market Street down to Folsom Street. Dorsey and Mahmoud said that this legislation will help improve public safety and reduce drug activity. Supervisors also expected to take up the recent string of PG&E outages at today's meeting. New District 4 Supervisor Alan Wong is calling for a formal public hearing and wants PG&E to explain how it will prevent future failures. He's also pressing the utility to offer more meaningful compensation to neighborhood businesses hit by the blackouts. Okay, now turning to a disturbing story out of Antioch. An 11-year-old girl is hospitalized after police say she was shot in the head. Antioch police say someone opened fire outside the Delta View apartments just as a car carrying the little girl pulled out of the parking lot. It happened yesterday afternoon. The girl was rushed to Children's Hospital in Oakland. No arrests have been made. California is among 5 Democratic-led states losing access to federal aid for low-income families under a new Trump administration freeze. The move blocks about $7 billion for temporary assistance for needy families, plus more than $2 billion for the Child Care Development Fund and millions in social services grants. The other states are Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. HHS cites widespread fraud, but so far has provided no public evidence to back that claim. Federal child care funding is already frozen in Minnesota amid a fraud investigation into some centers receiving that money. Lawmakers are asking what's next for Venezuela following the capture of the president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife by U.S. troops on Saturday morning. President Trump says the oil companies will invest in Venezuela to help rebuild the country and then be reimbursed by the U.S. or through oil revenue. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum condemned the plan, while Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the plan for Venezuela falls short.
They've got a resource that's the size of the richest countries in the world in the Middle East. This could be the biggest prosperity story ever.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
Trump administration officials are expected to brief all senators on the Venezuela attack sometime tomorrow. Well, today marks 5 years since the riot at the Capitol. These are scenes from that day when pro-Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, demanding the results of the 2020 election be overturned. More than 1,000 people were charged by the Justice Department in connection with the riot. However, they were later pardoned by Trump when he took office again in 2025. Today, House Democrats held a hearing on the events of January 6th. They heard testimony from law enforcement and members of Congress who were in the Capitol. One person who testified was a protester from Idaho.
The crowd had knocked me down in front of another officer and stepped on my head, pulled my shoulder, cut my knee, and broke my glasses. I was not breathing. If it hadn't been for the Capitol police officers, I would have died.
She was granted a pardon from the president, but refused to take it. Today's hearing was not an official congressional proceeding. Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, danger in the Sierra, where a snowmobiler died after an avalanche. Plus, what if employers could clone their perfect employee? We're going to show you the new technology being unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show. A tragic day in the Sierra after an avalanche near Truckee turned deadly when a man on a snowmobile was killed after being buried in the snow. This was at Johnson Peak and Castle Peak yesterday. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office says the avalanche was reported by a group of snowmobilers who said one person in their group was missing. The man was found trapped under the snow, and despite life-saving efforts, he did not survive. The sheriff's office is warning that more slide activity is possible and asking people to stay away from that area. New video of a helicopter rescue. 2 women were rescued on Sunday after becoming stranded on a cliff above a beach on the Point Reyes National Seashore coast. They were flown to an awaiting ground ambulance for treatment. Okay, back to our first weather right now. Let's give you a live look outside right now at the San Francisco Bay Bridge. A beautiful day on tap after all that rain for, it seemed like for a long time, Jess. So the big question is it gone for good?
Well, like we talked about earlier, there's a chance that we could see a quick little, and I am emphasizing that word, little splash of showers tomorrow, but for the most part, yes, we are drying up here in the Bay Area, and I'll show you that little splash of showers in just a second. But first things first, this morning we were in the 50s. We're only warming up into the 60s as we head into this afternoon. I turned on the temperature contour map to show you that nothing extreme is happening for us right now. It's a mild day here in the Bay Area, mostly cloudy in some of our inland spots, partly cloudy in other pockets of the Bay. Starting Thursday, we're under a high surf advisory along our shoreline where we can see waves anywhere up to around 22 feet high. This is not the time to be heading out to the water, despite the fact that the sun is going to be out as we head into Thursday, Friday, and heading into this weekend too. But before we even get there, let me just show you what's happening for us one more time into the next 24 hours. I mentioned that quick splash of showers. Let me show you it and show you how non-impressive it is, I really should say. As we head outside today and tomorrow, you're just going to notice a lot of dense clouds at times into the evening hours tonight. Similar trend. We wake up tomorrow morning with a quick light splash of showers in the morning hours, just around 7 a.m. That's going to push down in the South Bay. We dry up into the afternoon hours. Beautiful conditions tomorrow afternoon for Wednesday. Wednesday night, we get another quick little splash of showers. And really what all this is it's just the leftovers from a larger storm up in the Pacific Northwest, really impacting our friends up in Oregon and Washington right now. We're really just getting the leftovers. And then the best part is we dry up and we warm up as we head into Thursday and Friday. Beautiful conditions heading into this weekend's forecast. But from now until then, we could see an additional 1/100th of an inch of rain. Nothing too impressive here in the Bay Area. And that was stretched all the way down into Monterey, Salinas area. We take a look at the next 7 days. Sunny skies on tap for us as we head into Thursday and Friday. Beautiful light at the end of the tunnel for us as we head into the rest of this week's forecast. Some clouds will start rolling in heading into this weekend, but luckily we get that warm up as we head into next week with more sunshine and 60s on tap for us in the Bay. Heading into Monday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. A check on Wall Street right now. Here's a live look at the big board right now. You can see the Dow trending in positive territory, up 500 points this afternoon. In the meantime, artificial intelligence is front and center at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. The company Ignite Tech is launching their digital twin technology called My Personas. They say it allows companies to make AI-powered copies of important employees so the company can keep the person's expertise if they leave the job.
And then that opens the ethical question. Did that person grant you the right to use their likeness after they left the company? And that's something that we leave up to each company to police, right?
There are more than 4,500 exhibitors at CES this year. Well, the 49ers getting ready for the postseason and a hopeful hometown Super Bowl coming up. In the Red and Gold Report, Vern Glenn looks at the team's injuries and who will be actually able to play against the Eagles. Well, the 49ers dealing with yet another injury to a key player as they get ready for the playoffs. Vern Glenn has the details in the Red and Gold Report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers begin the postseason on Sunday in Philadelphia. If San Francisco wants to play at Levi's Stadium in Super Bowl 60, they'll likely have to win 3 straight games on the road.
Nothing has gone right for this team this year, so why would we have it any other way right now? You know, let's do it the hard way. That's kind of been the theme of the season.
Another theme of the season has been injuries, and that continued Monday. Linebacker Tatum Bethune is out for the playoffs with a groin tear. Bethune replaced Fred Warner, whose earliest possible return from an ankle injury would be the NFC Championship game, according to Kyle Shanahan. That likely means Eric Kendricks will start at linebacker against the Eagles. Kendricks played in the last 3 games after joining the team in late November.
And, the last couple of weeks, I've seen a lot of those little changes, little nuances that the offense tries to attack on. So I've got a better read at even where I'm supposed to do on Mike, in this defense. I have two great examples, in front of me with Tatum and Fred. So, I watch a lot on them. And, obviously I'm super experienced in this realm. So, I'm just ready to step up wherever the team needs me.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
Well, comedian Nikki Glazer is gearing up to host the 83rd Annual Golden Globe Awards for the second straight year. Glazer made history last year as the first woman to host the Golden Globes solo. She says she plans to bring her fearless wit to the stage again this Sunday with plans to call out A-listers like George Clooney, Michael B. Jordan, and Ariana Grande in her opening monologue.
I have like a list of everyone that I'm making fun of, because I'm going to send them a gift afterwards of being like, thanks for being a good sport. Like just something to be like, listen, I know this wasn't easy on you and thanks for playing along. As assuming that they play along. Maybe I won't send it if they're mean about it.
She is the queen of roasts. Well, the Golden Globes are this Sunday live on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Still ahead on the afternoon edition, how Claude the albino alligator may get a permanent tribute in the city of San Francisco. Well, Claude the albino alligator, a fixture at the California Academy of Sciences for 17 years, died last month. Now, Supervisor Myrna Melgar wants to name a street after him. She says she'll make the proposal at today's board meeting, calling Claude an extraordinary tool for public education. Here's where it will be. It's a stretch of the Music Concourse Drive between JFK Drive and MLK Jr. Drive. If approved by the Recreation and Parks Commission later this month, the street will be named Claude the Alligator Way. There he goes right there. Love Claude. Well, that's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock with myself and Liz Cook. Have a great afternoon.